Hey there, welcome back to Noita. I'm Sufferer of Let's Suffer Together, back in the mountains, my friends, and today, we're at the start of a new little series that I wanted to get into for a little bit of a while. Now, if you watch my channel, you know my one crafting is, well, shall we say, subpar. But regardless, my consistency and general way of playing the game sees me through most of the time, you know? And I wanted to get into a few things today, floor by floor, into how I kind of do that, starting with one of the, considering I use controller, but I think these things can go beyond kind of controller, mouse and keyboard kind of issues in discussions, and we can bring up like pros and cons of each regardless, is movement. So today is about movement in biomes, kind of like a, you know, a major talk about movement, while we will discuss other things that relate to kind of movement. But obviously sneaking into some other topics as well. So of course, in all biomes, unless you get the perk or spell All-Seeing Eye, you're going to have the Fog of War, which of course is the first thing that's going to get you killed, because you're not going to be able to see what's coming, right? And you'll see me playing fast and loose, because that's what experience generally gives you. Again, you know how much HP you have. You know what you can get away with. You know what distance you need to be away from the enemy when you see the enemy. Audio, it's not just movement, comes in with audio as well. Like, I can see the eyeball down there just, and there's a dynamite dude down there, you see he popped up there, but I saw him a little bit, because the Fog of War isn't perfect. You can see a little bit depending on your gamma setting. So again, I hope you can learn and benefit from this, because while I do have stuff to say about one building, again, it's, you know, there's better resources out there than listening or watching me. And again, you're going to learn something. But again, being willing to back away from an enemy, and this comes into, you know, you've got to know when you've got to know when to back away. You've got to know when to not admit defeat, but fight from a different position, right? If you go charging at every enemy, you're already dead, you know? You might as well just, you know, pack up. High ground is your friend in nearly every biome. You know, I think that's one thing that can be said for every biome. High ground, baby. Get the high ground. There's so many reasons to have the high ground, and let gravity do a lot of the work for you. When it concerns the first floor, though, again, when you hear certain audio cues like a shotgunner, you don't say there's the Fog of War. You might not know where the shotgunner is. As soon as you hear the clicking of his shotgun, we get some nice fireballs here. I'll try and find one and show you what I mean. You've got to be ready at the exact moment to jump upwards and, you know. And there's a very... right. Like that, you know? You got to get the timing down, because if you go too soon, you can get away from it. You can... Oh, I got stuck in a pixel. That wasn't about positioning, and this guy's a bully. This guy, again, high ground. High ground, this son of a bitch. I'm not sure I can get him with this. This is mud, right? Yeah, mud is a little bit... Can I hurt him with this? Whoa! Okay. Wasn't expecting that one. We were messing around with the orbiting spells today on stream. Live. As we often are. At twitch.tv/LetsSufferTogether, where if you have any questions about the game, just want to come and chill and chat and enjoy some good Noita, we're always there for you, my friends. I'm not sure the fire will hurt him. But the circling, orbiting... Oh, yeah, I saw damage there, I'm sure. But the orbiting saws will. Always... Well, there's two of them, right? Always have a bit of terrain. Like, you've got to learn, and I can't teach you this, unfortunately, but you've always got to learn the arc of the enemy shot and their movement pattern. In relation, and find space in relation to that that's going to be good cover. You know, not all cover is good cover, because an enemy can literally jump really quite high and make your cover illegitimate. Of course, learning how long you can float for without actually looking at the levitation bar as well, just having a feel for it is super important. Of course, a lot of these things can be weapon dependent as well, since you can have different types of ranges with your weaponry. Well, we're going to get set on fire here, but again, here's the thing with Noita. You're going to have to accept a certain amount of damage, and you're going to have to kind of learn when to take damage, you know? We're not going to get any orbs today, but actually, no, I will, because it'll allow me to survive longer, and, you know. Oh, we'll do Scully. We'll do the old Scully kick. Oh, that was terrible. That's not even a point. That was betrayed. It's because we're not actually, you know, we're in training mode, teaching mode. And of course, this hasn't anything to do with movement, but well, I suppose it does, because if you're creating a nice little bridge here, potions can change the need for movement. Say you have a pheromone potion, and you're willing to throw the entire potion at a roof to try and make some enemies friendly. That's not bad, and it frees up the need for cover, you know? Certain types of weaponry, saw blade orbit, you know, can essentially make different types of cover for you if you destroy terrain. I doubt that activated the boss. I did float onto that a bit cavalier. No, we're fine. As we march along, again, the fog of war is something that if you're not confident in the game, say you're not amazingly confident with your movement, the more you're going to need to reveal the fog by peeking, you know? Using your levitation, using your movement to see into another kind of, you know, tunnel, I suppose? Walkway. Like, if I want to, say, look down, say this was all shrouded, you know? But I know I've got cover down there, just kind of peeking and ready to drop at a moment's notice. Or it's easier to fall to gravity than it is to fly away, although flying is possibly more... No, it's not more important than falling. You've got to have both in your repertoire, being able to fly up out of danger and being able to know when to fall. And half the time, falling will be the answer. Half the time, flying upwards will be the answer. You know, it depends on who's coming at you. Dynamite dudes, it's entirely contextual on who's coming at you, you know? Again, high ground in this son of a bitch. You can use water to get double the money out of him. And it also, the water, any physical object, water, mud, anything will block his shots. And again, this guy, you can charge him quite closely. And again, even a little bit of levitation there sorts you out. He'll often throw TNT right through you. And, oh, dear me. And this is where, again, when you've got more than a few enemies, of course, you've got to assess which is the most dangerous enemy. And you see that then? Just spinning out the way instinctually. That's the kind of place you want to get to. An instinctual movement based on the enemy that you're fighting. Because without that instinctual movement, like you see me, I moved to the left and spun around. I don't know if spinning actually helps. It feels like it does, you know, like, I don't know if your hitbox changes if you move your actual controller or mouse in a circular motion like that. I have no idea. Probably not. But that simple movement, because, right, I'll kill this dude. I'll try to kill this dude. But you see that? I used gravity there, because he threw it up high where I was. Just drop down, you know? But right, say I was here. His art, say he's at the portal there. He's shooting me, and he's going to shoot exactly where I am. Well, get my levitation back, because I had more. If I simply move to the, you know, the left, he's going to shoot, say within that box there. You see that little box with a cross through it? Say I was in there. And say the bullets come arcing over. Gravity is going to make them arc a little bit more and downward to the right. So if I had gone this way, like, even if I'd gone higher, the chances the bullets could have bounced and hit me. So, moving to the left was the obvious thing to do because of the way gravity works on the arc. It's not easy to kind of get that in your head and learn that. Again, a lot of it turns out to be instinctual, but that's how it's roughly played out in my mind after the fact, you know? And why I did that kind of movement. So I hope that can help. But again, getting close to TNT dudes, they can throw their TNT quite... But here's a real problem. You see, I made room for myself. I saw the escape route there. The only escape route. Because if it went down... Nah, couldn't avoid that. And I'm nearly dead. But the only escape route up here. Because if I went down this tunnel, there's nowhere to go. If I tried to levitate, I could have possibly made him shoot across the... If I'd stayed on the floor when he shot, as soon as he shot the bullets, they were on a trajectory. He can't change that. But the moment up to where he shoots, he can change trajectory and shoot you in the face. So I could have stayed on the bottom and at the very last second jumped upwards there. But that was a high-risk strategy. The best one was just fly upwards because, you know, it completely blocks off his shot. I could have possibly ran back and gone diagonal and covered myself there, but this is the shorter option and route, you know? Could have stayed down here. Unlikely that would have worked for me. You know, with the spiders and the danger there. What's this? Pheromone? Yeah, speak of the devil and it'll appear. Knowing how much damage enemies take as well, and... You see that? The shotgunner. Moving at the right time with the shotgunner. Because of that, and knowing what physical objects are around to kick, a highly valuable skill, because they can just get in the way, right? A physical object's in the way. If you've got a tablet, you can throw a tablet in the way of the enemy. Money. We might be able to saw out the orb. Give me a hot minute. I'm gonna go get me another orb. I've got a tablet anyway, so I can do the old tablet jump. Up to the top of the mountain. But I would recommend, if you're learning the game, get more tablets, you know? Tablets will double the HP of the boss. If you're not getting to the boss, why not take the extra 25 HP per orb to learn the floors a bit better? The longer you are in the floor, the more likely you're going to survive, right? No. I'll correct myself. The longer you are staying in floors, the more you are learning about the floors. Which makes sense, right? You always want to spend as much time as possible in the floor anyway. For a multitude of reasons. One of those being... Oh, I can get up that way anyway. You know, you're going to get more spells, you're going to get more HP, you're going to get more potions. All resources you'll get more of. Gold, you know, good stuff. Good stuff, gold is. Well, that's not going to do much. I'll need water on me so I don't set on fire. 30 HP is... it's good. It's just not enough. Come on. Or if I ran out... No, I'm not sure if that will dig. If not, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to try because I'm not sure about the source. Nah. It looks like it's melting somewhat. I do have 9 shots left. It's doing something, and I don't need these shots anymore because I'm leaving after this, but... Yeah, we want to get the mana back, put some more water on us. But again, making sure you know what the threat and where the threat is half the battle. Whether it's through sight or audio, that's how you progress in this game, you know? With all the information possible. The game needs you to subtly learn that over time. This might get through. Maybe, I'm not sure. It's a tricky one. I might even get to a position where I can drop a bomb in there. Well, I've got 4 shots left, and then it's bomb time. But being comfortable with getting a potion out at a moment's notice as well is huge. Ah, I can get in there. I should be able to float up to the top if I play this right. Good. Might even be able to... Oh, shit. Well, if we got up there once, we can get up there again. But again, the 25 HP from these orbs you're going to want to get... Oh, I can grab it. Oh, come on! I need to get my levitation back, because... Say you get on a platform, sometimes, you need to wait to get your... Yeah, there we go. You need to wait to get your levitation back. It's just the way it is. But 150 HP, not so bad from the first area. But knowing how to get up here with the movement, like, the basic premise is, you can use something on the side to regain your levitation to get up to the top. you know, to be able to get up to that orb. And then you could always go over to the top of the pyramid, all the way over the right. However, there are enemies there now which will rip you apart. The other premise is what you saw me do before, which is use up to about 3/4 of my levitation, throw, get back on the tablet, regain levitation. Doesn't always work, but if you do it enough times, it will. But you saw the premise there. Go back and watch the first one again and see exactly how I did it. I'm tapping on the levitation as well because it's more effective over time. To get the most out of my levitation, to get on the top of the tablet. Don't get on the side because you won't regain levitation. You need to settle on top of the tablet while it's falling. And then, at the right moment, start levitating again. But again, knowing is half the battle, my friends. And while time and experience pays dividends in this game, it really does. Like, knowing that spiders blend in really well, and while a lot of the times you'll want to look at where you'll want to look at where your Noita is. It's like, I used to play a lot of Enter the Gungeon, right? However, I would not look at my character all that much. I would look in between the character and the threat that I was shooting at, and using my peripheral vision to assess the threats, but never really looking directly at the character. Like, I'm most of the time looking at my reticule where it is, and that's why I think playing on controller can really be of assistance. We have better movement because we've got a 360-degree stick, while mouse and keyboard doesn't. Mouse and keyboard is better at accuracy, so you need to know what you've got and use it. If you're mouse and keyboarding, no, you can be more accurate from longer distances more of the time. I can't, you know? Although, instinctually, sometimes I can pull off shots that probably, you know, rival mouse and keyboard because of the experience level gained, you know? The more you have experience in the game, the less it matters what equipment you're using. I was about to say we'll see if we get glass cannon, but this type of run isn't really, you know, glass cannon material. No more shuffle. Every time I pick up no more shuffle early on, we have a really good run. Because every wand is easily discerned then, you know, as to how you're going to make it function. Like, because everything will go from left to right, instead of being randomly selected. And then it goes through all the individual spells in random positions on a shuffle wand. But no shuffle, it will go from... The projectile modifier will apply to the first projectile, and then the rest of the projectiles won't have the projectile modifier. So very good indeed. What's that? Always casting. Accuracy on a really good 20 capacity, awesome wand. For an early one, that is amazing. Probably these two, because I want that double as well. Again, I'm not going to go too much into wand building. Too much. Party bombs? Yeah, I like party bombs. They're good. But since we have the really high cost Saw Blade Orbit, 4 Saw Blades rotate around the projectile, everything's going to die. Seriously, it's awesome. It's a really good kind of spell to have. And it's a new one as well in the beta branch of the game. Again, spoilers for the beta branch of the game I should have mentioned, but hey. Considering. Yeah, home bring a teleport. If you want to bring enemies closer to you, it's a risky one. Again, very situationally dependent on the enemy you're bringing towards you, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend a lot, you know. But having the no more shuffle, because now, because we've got 1, 2, 3 on a multicast. If you stack multicasts, take away 1 from the second. Say I've got 2 on the second one, you take away 1. So I've got 1, 2, 3 in a row I can put on. So I can do this. And it will fire 3 firebolts in a row. All with Saw Blade Orbit. Which is pretty nice. Is it not? And that's why you saw multiple combinations of 4 Saw Blades at a time there. I don't really have... Yeah, this is too expensive. I should have gone for the purple shots as well, but might have to rely on Hold on, this could be insane. This could bounce around everywhere. Oh, dearie me. No, we're not using that. Oh, that might anger the gods. That's going to anger the gods. Yeah. Hold on, we can take stay out with this stuff. Well, fuck a duck. I'm stuck. Oh, he fucked him up. Is that not hurting me by the... Oh, my face. Steve's come to glow. I'm not happy. But that's what happens when you choose the wrong things at the wrong times. Cause of death, Steve. But these things happen. That's Noita, you know? All the positioning in the world can't make up for, you know. Give me the fucking control of the game now. Yeah, the new updates on the controller and stuff like that, I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. But I think everything I said previously is still valid. When I was a Steve fight with, you know, a very, very... I caused that situation myself. And a lot of... Actually, it's a really good lesson, because a lot of situations in Noita, you will cause yourself, you know? Well, like, position... Oh, hello. That's a lot of money. Oh, look. Oh, come here. Oh, that's good. And we get a load of spells as well. Matter Eater Recoil. Spells to Giga Saw Blades. Okay. And we got some nice unstable crystals. So, showed you how to get to the top of the mountain, you know. I think we'll be fine. But positioning-wise, getting into a Steve fight early on and using things that will destroy the holy mountain, hey, I don't do that, you know? I think that's good advice, so I'm going to keep that in the video, you know? I could just start again, but... You know, the reality of Noita is, even the best of us, and I'm not even the best of us, you know? I'm, you know, pretty mediocre in many aspects. But I still enjoy the game, and I still, you know, I hold my own, you know? Especially since I play on fucking controller. And my aiming is compromised. Yeah, I don't use overly bouncy spells. I got a little bit too carried away there. Hey, you've got to try things, though. This is the thing, right? In movement, in the spells, you've got to try things. Wow. Someone's got a wand. Blow everything up. Yeah, these crystals will give you double money. I've got no liquid, so if I get set on fire... Yeah, double money from all these fools. That's awesome. Hopefully we'll be able to find some HP early on. But again, knowing... Say, what's over this, shall we say? Well, we can destroy it. Set some fire, because if any enemy tries to come through here now, likelihood is they get set on fire themselves. I have no liquid myself, so I can kind of peek, you know? Try and reveal more of the shroud. Explosion. You see that then? I know there's a chest there now. A very subtle explosion in the distance can reveal the shroud. Again, knowing that. Like, you can see enemies, you can see hearts, you can see chests, you can see all sorts with a little minor explosion in the distance. Minor explosion? There are no minor explosions. Where's... Fireman? Oh, shit. Good. Again, I'm not exactly covering myself in glory, apart from that avoiding shot. That was nice. Yeah, let me go get some chest. That's all. If I can get in there. Ah, no, we have to blow our way in there, but, you know. The power of explosives. Oh, I've got no liquid on my cape. Oh. It's not likely we're going to get any around here as well, unless I kill these dudes. That's not really enough blood to sort me out, though. Yeah, we missed out on the opportunity for money, unless... Nah, it's gone. There was some toxic down there, but I would have probably been dead by the time we got it. But yeah, watch out for the shotguns, because they bounce. So, what I said previously, hey, it might not always come true, you know? These guys' arcs... That's a difficult one. Yeah, when you've got two enemies at two different you know, directions. Oh man, that's a difficult one to judge what to do, because the variabilities, if you act in one way for one dude, then you've got to account for that movement in a completely different way, you know? Because what's good for dealing with one person in one direction is probably the worst thing to do for another dude in another direction. You know how it goes down. We've got good money though, and I'm happy we're doing a low HP run, just for demonstration purposes for movement. We shan't Angustir again, you know. We get 10 HP per biome anyway. Oh, we get a trigger, so again, always get a trigger. And they're so valuable. But we're gonna oh, invisibility. Ah, could go with repulsion. But again, perks help. Right, here's the thing. Here's the definition of what I think makes a good build. Your ones are there for offensive purposes, to build offensively. Perks are there for defense. Build defensively with your perks. Offensively, do your damage with your ones, obviously. But always have defense in mind for your perks, you know? Split it up like that. Always think how a perk's going to help me survive, how a one's going to help me kill everything. It's a good way of splitting it up, you know? It's not bad. Ooh, shit. Free capacity. Transform every projectile currently in the air into a giant saw blade. Smart. We already have a trigger. I have an idea. Oh, I can't afford it. Oh, too poor. I have an idea, though. Because I have a trigger. This trigger will send these two shots into my foe, dealing, hopefully, good damage. I could also, you know, chain the trigger into a timer, into a regular projectile. That's the best I can do at the moment. And we'll go for repulsion field, because it'll allow my shots to shoot faster, and it'll protect it. This is one of those type of perks that's a bit 50-50. You know, it helps your shots have more speed, and thus gets to the enemy quicker. When you're talking about positioning, if your shots are fast, you can be more loose with your positioning, because you'll kill the enemy quicker. If your shots are slow, you're going to need to spend more time out in the open, maybe, you know? Or more time, actually, you know? Because if your shots are slow, you're going to miss the enemy, because the enemy can move. So I like fast shots. Directly into the enemy. Plus, it helps with defense. And it can send shots back the way they came. For defensive purposes. Wondage. I mean, it's good, but it's bad at the same time. Rock Spirits. If you manage to watch the Noita Summit on Saturday, you know how I feel about those. And, well. The freezing, however, incapacitation, again, frees up your movement. If you're getting shot a lot, there's a few reasons why, and this is why we're talking about movement today. Movement is one of those reasons. There's a few other reasons which we'll go into in other videos, but if you incapacitate the enemy, it allows you more freedom to be a bit lax in your movement, you know? You can be a bit more out of cover a lot more. Whether you set the enemy on fire or freeze them, it matters not. You know, if the enemy can't fire at you due to incapacitation, well, 10 out of 10 job there, right? You get more time to shoot at them. If your shots are faster, you kill them quicker, you know? Again, it all sounds so simple, but bringing all this up in a combination of learned skill over time and experience, it's a difficult one to master, you know? This game really does put you to the test, even with certain simple concepts, because there's so many of those simple concepts in the game. But this is one of the times that I can go lower. Because I was already... Right, if I had gone higher, I was essentially giving him more area to shoot at me. More area. But since, you know, if I was stood here, and as soon as I moved there, he can't shoot me. But if I go anywhere around here, he's still got eyes on me, you know? The best way to avoid a shot is to stop the enemy seeing you, you know? So if you could just get under cover, and seeing that in a split second ain't easy, you know? Again, a lot of these things are learned over time. However, I do feel that, you know, It's worth the lesson nonetheless. If that's your kind of thing, if that's what you want to learn, you know? I'm sure that'll be good to hear. Whoa! Enemies with wands. If you can assess the range of the enemy, you know, you can just stay out of the way. If you see an enemy with a wand and you don't know if it shot it yet, yeah. Modifier. Extra damage modifier on that one. It's awesome. Drop a bolt? Not a drop a bolt, sorry. Just a firebolt? Yeah, it's alright. It's not a great wand. But if you can't ascertain the length of which an enemy can actually, you know, reach you with the wand. Because if you know there's an enemy, and you know the range at which you can attack me, well, I can stand here pretty much and just, you know, when he... he's fine. Because I know roughly at which range he starts attacking when he's doing his usual attack. When an enemy picks up a wand, that completely goes out the window. Always try and shoot them behind cover. You know, sometimes you'll be able to make a wand that can shoot around corners. Like this, I can kind of bend my shot around with a trigger, you know? Only takes a trigger to make the spitter bolt bounce off the wall, and you can pull an angle on them. That's what I say. You know, that's what I call that, pulling an angle. But slowing the enemy shots down is much like the opposite of speeding yours up, you know? Again, two enemies at two different directions. Always retreat, you know? 3 or 4 enemies, retreat. Find a place where there are no enemies and make them all come up one way, you know? Right, if you're going down... I forgot to turn off my alerts for Twitch, I'm sorry. I keep on doing this. Right. Here's a classic example. You've got enemies coming that way, you've got enemies coming that way. You've got enemies coming that way. You've got enemies coming that way. 4 different points of attack. However, the place you have come from should be clear, right? You've come from there. There shouldn't be any enemies or many enemies that you couldn't take care of quickly. Say you retreat now. And this dude... Oh, shit. This dude could come along. But say you had 4 enemies coming from that direction I pointed out before. Say you had this dude coming up here to meet you. He's 1 enemy, right? You might have more. But generally, the way you came is going to have less enemies than the way you've been. Because you've cleared it. Or at least cleared it enough that you felt comfortable moving on. So retreating is always the answer when you've got multiple enemies, right? High ground as well. Again, some dudes are just brutal with their shots. Some dudes can actually shoot up. Some Hisi can't shoot up. Again, knowing which enemies can and can't shoot directly upwards or directly downwards. Whoa! Alright, rude. But some... when you find a nest, you know, you probably want to just commit to it. Especially if you've got a repulsion. Because these guys can't really directly shoot me without me shooting their shots away. Drills. It's not a great wand. I want the freezing to incapacitate. I want the damage modifier to add damage to my wand. I'm not getting rid of my trigger. My explosives are very handy, but it's a bad wand. Digging, however, is better than exploding. You know, and now I can dig for money. And I can dig for safety as well, you know? Talking about movement and positioning. If you can make yourself cover, even if it's a little hole, hey, you've given yourself an advantage you didn't have previously. Explosives, however, can kill enemies rapidly, but it can kill you rapidly as well. Knowing how enemies react to when they're hit as well, because some enemies will be staggered. Some enemies won't. You know, some enemies will just... Some enemies can shoot you while they're on fire as well. That's an always cast. It's got a purple tint to it. Ew. Acid and toxic to acid. Yeah, if you want to burn a load of things, yeah, go ahead. I won't stop you. But knowing which material... Because, right, this lighter grey isn't as diggable as the darker grey. So if you're trying to dig your way to freedom, or dig your way to gold. You might as well just dig into the softer stuff and only collect, you know, because time is money. The longer you spend in a place, the more likely you are to lose HP. So why not spend that time more productively? In places you can dig quicker. Oh, you see it bounce back onto the top of his head? It's why triggers and timers are really cool sometimes. Although they're a bit unruly, and later on they can pose problems. Yeah, generally, you know, if you're learning a game anyway, you know, just try things out, see what you're comfortable with, see what fun stuff you can do. Always maintain good hydration, my friends. You see that? I know there's an enemy down there, no? Hello, these guys, yeah. Oh, shit! He should have exploded. Oh, we got a shaman. He'll char me. And he'll teleport me if he wants. But yeah, watch out for mushrooms. They'll take all your HP in one go with that explosive. Doesn't look like much, but seriously, that's a really bad explosive. Whoa, you see? He didn't even make a noise. I didn't actually hear it. He might have made a noise. Okay. I teleported away. Goes into another thing, right? Sometimes a situation can be so bad, the only thing to do is to open the doors of chaos. Say you have teleport, unstable teleport. Say you have a means of escape which you don't know the outcome of. Sometimes you'll look at a situation and go, alright, I'd rather jump into chaos, you know? I'd rather jump into an unknown situation completely than deal with this. Because I know I'm going to die. So I might as well deal with, well, something completely different. Yeah, we know this is trash. You see, it takes forever to dig through this, but getting the darker grey, I can dig properly like a mole. It's good times. Digging as well is one of the best ways of travelling. Enemies can follow you into holes, but most of the no-hit, like when I've done no-hit runs before, how I got the no-hit world record before, digging. Digging is one of the best ways to travel downwards without being hit. At all. It is the best way to travel. However, you may or may not find as much loot. You know, you could bump into a lot of loot while digging. A lot of the loot is buried. However, you've got to admit, sometimes you're just going to go into certain holes and there's going to be nothing there. And because you're digging, it's hard to dig from side to side. Digging down is always easier than digging to side. Because generally, the way the biomes are arranged, you're going to put yourself out into open area. Which, if you're digging, it may be because you don't have a loadout that's worthy of fighting, you know? Get out of it. I want your money. I don't want any trouble. Could leave here. But I'm intrigued by what's over here. One of the things I will say, always use up all your HP, you know? Because it's a resource game at heart, you need resources to win and live. If you can use more HP in a biome, go for it. You kind of need to sometimes, you know? You need to push the limits if you want to succeed. You'll need to find more HP to survive in later levels. Oh dear, this is bad. You see, me being able to dig away there saved my life. He could have thrown an acid potion on my face. Having digging, you know, stops you from being suffocated. But now we're compromised a little bit, so I'm going to run away. Into my previously made hole that no one else, you know, knew about before it existed. Not even me. But now they can't get to me because it's filled with slime, which is very handy. Won't always happen. But I have an escape route already planned out, you see, so I could have used my HP to explore more. For a hole I made, I could have gone round. However, that would have been a longer journey back to an escape route. And the problem with a longer journey back, even if you've cleared the way, it doesn't mean enemies can't travel. And do people wait till I'm recording for YouTube? Let me just sort myself out on that. It's only 2 clicks. There we go. But thank you for your patience. It's not easy remembering every little detail. I mean, even though I do it every day. Yeah, fungal. the fungal in that second area. It's got really good stuff in sometimes, but yeah. The second area is the shortest as well. While it's still lengthy side to side, it's really quite short. Now this is interesting, because I could slow incoming shots further. Although... So now, I'm going to freeze the enemy with my shot, which will deliver 10 extra damage to my spitter bolt with timer. I'm going to get rid of these because they're terrible. Ah, no, I'm actually going to keep the wand. It's a very fast firing wand for what it is. But now we can freeze and hit extra. So we take the All-Seeing Eye for vision. Again, if you can find All-Seeing Eye, take it. The ability to see? I don't know if I need to tell you, but seeing is good. Seeing your enemy before they see you, even better. And a lot of the time, that's what you're going to want to do. No matter the cost, you know? Because money is cheaper than HP. Alright then. I don't know, I might re-roll this. Because they're all good, but they're not really great for the demonstrative purposes. Because I just want to survive, you know? I might get stainless. Because when I don't have liquid on my cape, I'll take 50% less damage. And I'm freezing a lot anyway, so I'll probably be freezing a lot of water. And when I'm standing on freezing... When I'm standing on freezing, when I'm standing on ice, I'm not exactly, you know, got liquid on my cape. Ah, when you see a wand, it's not bad form to shoot near the wand, you know? I'll give myself some vision. Right, say it was shrouded. You could see the wand. But say it was shrouded up to this point. If you're shooting at the wand, enemies are going to find it harder to pick it up because you're shooting there, you know? But you see the incapacitation? Allows me to just, you know, exploit their weakness. They can't shoot upwards. So, if I didn't freeze him, well, he would have been able to shoot me. Freezing also has the benefit of when you kill an enemy when they're frozen, their corpse, if gravity works on it well, it'll become a physical object and it can kill enemies, so it's really nice. But here, in the third area, you're going to have to go side to side a lot, right? One thing I do like to do in the third area is clear out one side, so I know enemies won't really be coming this way, you know? I know there's a sniper down there, but there's no way he's getting up here. Enemies could still come this way. Don't get me wrong, but now we know, that's roughly clear. If an enemy picks up this wand, he's got a really short range. I know what's on this one now. I know it's not that bad. I know I can beat it with range. That pink shot has no range. I could stand here and kill the dude like that, you know? Easy. But now I know enemies aren't really going to come this way, so it's clear. So I can concentrate on this way. And if enemies around here, or HP, you see? Get paid out immediately. Because I'm exploring. And I'm exploring with safety in mind. Yeah, and this is the benefit of knowing how much levitation you've got. That I could, you know, recover myself over here. And knowing exactly how much I have to land on a terrain to regain it, knowing how long to... Knowing how long to stay on terrain to regain it. Very important to kind of learn the amount of time you've got in the air. There's been a worm around here. Again, when we're discussing movement, wormholes are amazing. While you may have to fight a worm eventually, having a wormhole allows you to travel so well. Because they dig holes for you. However, if you do see a wormhole, you may want to understand that you will, as you are going down, probably want to kill that son of a bitch. If he angers the gods, I've got freezing, so I don't need to really worry. If you've got freezing, Stee ain't that bad. You can freeze him. You can freeze Stee and then kick him. You know? Just freeze Stee, go up close to him, kick him, you'll lose not that much HP. Yeah, right. Here's a little thing for you, though. Whether that'll explode or not, I'm not sure. I don't know. Snipers always get some distance, you know? There is a certain limit. Right, with snipers, you can get up to a certain limit and you can use your good movement. Say you have good movement and ability. That's fast firing rockets, hell yeah. Uko. Uko is not actually that bad. You know, Uko is quite easy to get around. You've just got to have good respect for what his abilities are, you know? He can jump quite wildly, although he doesn't do that as much anymore. He doesn't really jump all that much. Right, there was an did anyone notice the propane tank here? If you're freezing an area, you may cover a propane tank, and it might become indistinguishable from the ground. You need to kind of roughly learn the shape of a propane tank and understand that if you've got freezing, you could be doing yourself a good disservice. So, if I'm about this far away from a sniper, I can just get out of the way, because it can change its trajectory just like the shotgunner. Sometimes you're going to fail, you know? Sometimes you're going to get hit, and you have to put that down just to, you know... Acceptable HP loss. But when you're concerning this area, again, you're going to have to go left and right a lot. So you're going to need to create clear spaces, you know? Like I did at the start. The ability to move back and forth, because you're going to find a lot of enemies here are going to push you back. And if you get pushed back into another group of enemies because you didn't clear out properly, you're dead. We got digging, so... I could use the rockets, actually. Although it's a bit sketchy, it works. He's got a 1 down there. I don't know. Oh, he's got... Again, as soon as they shoot, you know what they've got. And drop the wand. He must have got hurt by me or someone else. It's not a great wand. It doesn't have recharge. Uko! Behave. The good thing is, again, is... As long as you know how fast his shots are, and what he's capable of, it's all good. You'll be fine. Don't worry about him as much as you need to, you know. He's easy to worry about. Uko works off intimidation factor alone, you know. His intimidation gives him a lot of power over you. Good movement alone can see you past him, you know. Even if he's in an open area, you know. And we're talking about movement, using the ice and the terrain to your advantage, you know? Knowing you can kick things that can hurt enemies. Like that falling down that. Beautiful. Knowing when to run away, because that is a homing rocket, you know? I could take it on with my rockets. However, I need to be quick. I need to be rapid if I don't want it retaliating. Because if it retaliates, well... Yeah, always watch your feet. Hopping about is underrated. Well, I say underrated. I don't know how rated it is, actually. You know, being light on your feet. Making sure... If you are touching the ground, you don't touch it for long. Right. I don't know if you ever watched Black Hawk Down, the movie. I think it was Black Hawk Down. There was... And it stuck with me for a long time. If you're facing an enemy with an RPG... If you're... I think it was... Again, I'm pretty sure it was Black Hawk Down. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. You've seen a movie where some dude told him, don't stand next to a fucking wall when there's RPGs about, like rocket-propelled grenades. Because it's easier to hit a person with a shrapnel coming off an explosive. Because they can hit any part of that wall. Like, say I was stood here, and a rocket landed in that blood. Like, just landed in the blood, but I was stood here. That would hurt. But if I was in midair... If you know what I mean. It has to hit me. Not the terrain. There is no terrain for it to hit around me for the splash damage. So that's why being light on your feet matters. You know, being able to get off terrain. There's a lot of rockets in the game. There's a lot of explosives. And I want those shotguns. They're so good. I can't actually ignore them. We're going to get rid of digging. No. We're going to get rid of rockets. Rockets. So that stuck with me. as an actual tactical little piece of, you know, knowledge about splash damage. Don't stand next to walls or any terrain if you don't have to, you know? Floor, you can't... like, in real life, the floor, you can't really, you know, worry too much about. You're kind of stuck to it a little bit. But yeah. Watch out for the powder as well if you're digging through it, because it can have hidden secrets in. It can have propane tanks and such, just like where we're going next. But again, clear out your spaces. Clear out left and right. Make sure you've always got a safe place to retreat to, you know? More so in this area than the second area, to be honest. You're going to need it. Right, we're going to get the big guns out. Shotguns, thank you very much. We don't have another type of non-shuffle wand. There's some electrical already somewhere. Ah, rat plague. Plague rats, trickery, item radar. That will point out hearts. That's really nice, but faster ones, no more knockback. If you can, if you're sick of getting hit and stunned yourself, and it actually impacts you a lot, take it. I'm going to be taking it because it's good for movement. It's really good for movement to take a shot. Like I was saying, sometimes you're just going to take damage and you have to accept that damage and move on, you know? So what's happening here? I'm freezing the enemy with my spark bolt. The trigger allows me to then, once I hit the target, for the shotguns to impact that target with a modifier going on to a triplicate bolt. So that modifier, that extra 10 damage is going on to each of the 3 bolts. Like, you know, if I could double this up, I would, but I can't, so I won't. You know, I'm going to save the rest of the shotguns, though, for when I do get another double. And we got an increased mana for later as well, so looking good. I don't mind ditching the rest. But this is going to shred. Even this simple loadout, you know. But now we come to the Hisi base where, well, you kind of, for Noita in any platformer of this kind of variety, have to follow the kind of rules you've learnt before in the previous biomes. However, it's just completely different situational, even though a lot of the lessons still stand. You need to clear out your areas. You're just presented with a bit of a different test. This is close quarters combat with many different enemies. However, the same things still stand. This is a base filled with Hisi. Hisi can't shoot directly up. Use that to your advantage. However, with the coward enemy now in the game, and the sentries in the game also, what else have we got? All-seeing eye. Let's see what we're dealing with. So again, when you're dealing with the shroud, you might have to peek a bit more. If you see bullets coming your way, hide, and then maybe even drop a bomb down here, you know. Use what you can. Know everything in your arsenal and appropriately... Shit. You've got... You see me getting behind the metal? Right, if the shot came into this box here, what I'm pointing out my reticule, this box here, I was probably dead. However, I judged the best way to survive was to get behind the metal here. Because if it was anywhere else... Like, say it didn't say the propane didn't get past that purple there, and you're gonna have to deal with propane a lot in this area. Enemies can set them off. If the propane didn't get past the purple kind of barrier there, I was alive because the metal would allow me to survive. If an enemy picks up a wand, get behind metal, because if it's got a nuke, if it's got, you know, holy hand grenades or anything like that, metal will save you. Again, the amount of electric in this area, rude is what it is. It's just rude. You can use doors to your advantage as well. Wait for them back up, you know? If you can get the timing down for when the door opens and have already shot, you know, it takes a certain amount of time for your bullet to travel. If you know exactly when the door opens... Son of a bitch! That's what I mean about movement. Sometimes you just can't... You've got to accept that damage. You've got to take it into account. You're gonna get hurt. You just don't want to stand next to propane. Hence why I'm going around blowing them all up. Yeah, what if you miss a shot, make sure that shot is worth something. You know, when I shoot the first shot, That is an adjustment. If I miss, I class it as an adjustment shot, you know? Well, I think most people would do this. Picking up that one because it's a non-shuffle, and it'll allow me to improve my shotgun one. Make sure, you know, it's an adjustment shot. So your next shot, and have that as your mindset as well, you know? That even though you're obviously going to sometimes miss more than a few times, and that gets frustrating, it really does. Just knowing, you know, that's how you're planning it out. You do plan as an adjustment shot, not just, you know, taking pot shots here and there, but you actually have a plan. The mindset can make all the difference, you know? It really can. Even though it sounds a little bit, you know, too serious for a video game. Yeah, always try and destroy lights as well. Don't get bubbled. I need that guy to heal. Right, I need to kind of look away from the enemy. Yeah, freezing enemies high above me. Using the enemy that's highest, freezing them and killing them, and dropping them on the other enemies. Get out of it. Very valuable. Because again, it'll kill other enemies lower down. It's a high ground, baby. It's not just with freezing, you know. Of course, you're going to kill the enemy closest to you. Especially in the Hisi base. Because they're the closest enemy, if they're below you directly, that can get to a position where they can actually shoot you. Those fast-firing shots, again, the fast-firing rifle Hisi, you'll need to get into a position where you understand how they attack you. Shotgunners we've already gone over, you know, in the first floor, and it's the same here. Right, let's see if we can get a demonstration going. Yeah. I have repulsion, so I'm going to turn my back. Ah, shotgunner, you need to die. There we go. Fucking 3. This is it. You just get swamped. Setting up a demonstration on this motherfucker. Rude. Can I kick this? I do have repulsion, though, so it's not easy for them to kill me. Because my repulsion can shoot their shot away. No, I can't kick mechanicals to death. That's an update. Not happened recently, but... Can I? Nah, I'd rather have the 10 plus damage from the shotgun, to be honest. But sentries, you kind of want to, you know, pop shot and get behind cover. Pop shot, get behind cover. Else, it's, you know... You might want to just front them and kill them. And accept the damage. Or you can just use 2 different positions where you can fire them. Because they're going to have to rotate their gun. You know, shoot them there, go over here, shoot them here, go over here, shoot them here. It's good times. It really is. I want that wand, but I don't know if I can get it. I could shoot. These horizontal sentries can't easily shoot. Oh, I've got drilling still. I should use it. Unless you shoot them, won't shoot behind you. Oh, shit. It's not a great one, but it's got a modifier. And I'm going to use that one later, so I'm going to get rid of my drilling. It's unfortunate. But if I want decent wandage, I can use the propane tank to destroy. If you have a strong enough wand, then you're confident the propane can be destroyed in one shot most of the time. You see, if that's what happens when it goes wrong, it flops about everywhere. The gas ain't so bad. Like, right, hanging electricals, if it's not sparking, it's fine, you know? I can rub ourselves, but if it starts sparking, that's when you're in trouble, you know? You want to make sure all lamps like that are thoroughly destroyed. Electrical damage is really bad. It'll fuck you up. But lots of wands around here, which makes it very deadly, because enemies can pick these wands up. Get some vision, you know? Don't forget what you have. Smooth, solid killing. Couldn't have really killed those enemies faster. You know what I mean? If you're getting into a position where you're using all available shots as a kill shot, because you're going to find that dude's got a wand. I don't know what he's got on it. Solid avoid. I could try and find a position, like, if he comes down here, try and find a position where I can blow up that propane tank to blow up that, and blow up that, and then blow up the doorway, you know, for the maximum kill threat. Like, but I have to go all the way around, and to be honest, fuck that. I would advise exploring more than I am, though, you know? I'm only here to do a little demonstration, a little talk on individual biomes, and I can't spend forever on that, you know? And I've already died once, so, you know. But hey, there's value in dying, you know? If you're learning from your mistakes, hey, jobs are good. You're doing the right thing. Dying is inevitable in Noita. More drills. Ducks! The ducks! I love the ducks. That's a really good wand. We do have drills as well. I'm probably purchasing that wand. Just on general principle. Oh, the angry ghost is amazing. We get stronger levitation. When we're talking about movement, doubling the amount of time you can stay in the air. Because again, high ground is super important. So if you're building defensively with your perks, immunities are always a priority. But if you don't have the immunities on offer, you could reroll. You could try a look. Again, it's entirely up to yourself. However, might you consider taking something like stronger levitation to improve your overall kind of, you know, build when it comes to maintaining good movement? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to, you know, possibly inform you that shit is good. Maybe. We'll take the ducks. Ducks can't be left behind. It's the law. Although we are going to build a really nice one now. The trigger is still going to freeze. Because if I could miss and the shotguns could still impact the enemy, you know? But since I want to promote my own good accuracy, I'm going to make it so that I feel it's important to get the... And I do more damage this way as well. I get more damage if I hit the target. So there's a lot of incentive for me to do so. And we're going to put the 2 damage modifiers now on these 3 shotguns. And it's going to blast everybody to bits. You see, it's just... What was that? 500 damage in one shot. Sometimes. Technically don't need the... You see, I could possibly make this fire faster. But I don't need to, you know? I should be able to survive at that high damage... You know, as long as I'm accurate. If I miss all the time, then the shotguns might still do the business, but the jungle, my friends, what you want to do immediately. Know exactly who needs to die first. And it depends on your loadout. If you have explosion immunity, the dude without the green gun, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? He'll throw explosives at you. If you get close enough, he will shoot a projectile at you, though. But the poison dude, the dude with the purple, yeah, that gun, and the other one, it's actually a beautiful wand. Go on. Rockets. Wonderful. Oh, I want to get some water on us. The problem here is... Right, the real problem with this biome is everything burns. Well, a lot of the terrain burns, right? So that is opening up terrain for enemies to come through. You know what I'm talking about in the second area? Having 4 different areas of enemies coming through? Well, in this biome... Alright, thanks. You're going to have long-range enemies try and shoot you. Melee enemies come in and try and hoard you. Shot priority becomes an absolute must. You need to know who to kill first. Generally the person who's closest to you. But sometimes... You know, say there's a little spider around and there's that dude who could shoot poison at me. You son of a bitch. He made us twitchy, I think, didn't he? Yeah. If I shoot myself now with my shots, I'll take damage. So I'm going to pull out my water potion. Whoa! That's the problem when I tried to use the all-seeing eye while Twitch is still around. Twitchy is a modifier of when you get shot by one of those dudes with the chompy jaws. Ah! Not a fan. But freezing, again, if an enemy is launching themselves at you, and you incapacitate them, they can no longer hurt you. Even if they're still looking like they're charging at you. So most of the time. You know, you might do it a bit too late. And you might miss the opportunity, and they might have already been just a bit too close to you. But again, when you've got a load of little... You can take a hornet shot easy, you know? Hornets aren't the top priority. If there's a load of them and you're backed into a corner, maybe they are, because they can really be a pain in the ass and they can stun you. But say you've got a dude with a green gun, sorry, it's not purple. He shoots purple, poison, which is a percentage-based health damage. But he is priority, you know? Because if he fills... Right, if he shoots you with the purple poison, you've got to get your water out, and you've got to resolve that situation, right? If you get stuck in anything like frozen liquid, wiggle your controller about, or wiggle your WASD button about, you know? That should get you out in good order, good time. Yeah, it's not much... Like, you could be slimed in this area, and it's not so bad. Good movement is alright, but having a big, clear area, because there's a lot of ways to snake in and out of places here. You know, I can snake in and out of terrain like this at big figures of 8, and good terrain in the middle to block everything off. That's really good cover, like, tremendous cover. The problem is when you get this shit coming in, the old vines, you know? It's not good. It's not fun. Not a fan. Watch out for the actual, you know, bulb. A bulb, I suppose. You know, they've got poison in them as well. Again, high ground for the Hornets. If you go low, great. You know, if you can bob them and weave them all the time anyway. They're not that difficult if you get the movement down. However, if you get... The problem is jagged terrain, right? It's easy to get stuck into a little piece of terrain. That's the kind of thing that gets you hit all the time. It's what you see me get hit by then. Just stuck in terrain and it puts you off your movement. You can't move in the set. You see that? I'm just stuck there for a second and that's enough. But these guys commit to their lunge, and if you know how they commit, they're not that bad. They don't even do that much damage. They are an absolute distraction, trying to distract you away from the priority targets. The Hisi, again, or spiders even. Spiders ain't that bad, but... This terrain is very destructible as well, so rockets, beautiful. Set fires, do some good work. Lots of high-end ones around here as well. Always invest your time in here if you can. Lots of hearts. What I like to do myself is go across the top to the left and right. A lot of the HP in this biome seems to be across the top to the left or right. They can be anywhere really. Don't go too far left because there's a new biome around that's going to ruin your life, especially if you don't have melee immunity. Yeah, the plants generally aren't that bad, you know. These dudes, as long as you ain't within a certain range, you know. And you can back away from their shots relatively easy as well, you know. And spread out, and generally you'll find a safe space. So it's... I'm stuck in a fucking... Wiggle, wiggle, always wiggle. Hey, when in doubt, because there is a fungal in the middle of this biome. Avoid that at all costs. There's no... You see that? Just high ground. He had the high ground. He dominated me. However, pull an angle on him. What I mean by... Right, if I've got the low ground, you can pull an angle in a way. You see what I mean? I don't know if you saw what I did there. Right. If he's following me, as he's coming down, just as he's about to reveal his feet, I shoot, say, there. You know, just at the lip. He's got to reveal his feet first, right? And it allows me to kind of drop down and shoot like that, you know? So I am a moving target immediately as he reveals himself. So you can take advantage of a high ground as long as you can pull an angle like that, you see? You can consistently, if you get good at it, shoot just beyond the lip and you won't hit the terrain, you'll hit his legs. As long as it takes a little bit of time for your shot to reach the target, you know? Well, that was... Okay. The more you do it, the worse you become. You need to kind of just get into the instinct of shooting at a certain point, you know? Kind of get used to falling and shooting. The enemy does it really well as well, so you need to as well. You know when you see an enemy falling and they shoot you really easily? Well, you need to be able to do the same thing. Like, shooting their legs is the only way to take advantage of the low ground. And being quick about it and know they're coming, you know? If you're dealing with the low ground, you need information. You need to know they're coming. And you need to do a bit of, you know, low ground domination. That's one way you can do it. I'd highly advise you get into it. Nah, this place is just fucking horrible. I don't have many tips for this one, apart from don't die. And, good luck. Well, that's not good advice, is it? Repulsion field, alright. Well, we've got 2 repulsion fields now, so we're doing very well. If I do say so myself. That's a superb wand. It's got less mana, though. Am I running out of mana with this wand? No. There's no need for me to change up. I could put heavier stuff on this, but I really don't need to. I lose out on 1 capacity. Oh, I chucked away my drills anyway, so it's fine. There's not much else we really want, you know? Let's just get into the biome. Luckily, the great thing about this biome is I can jump down immediately and not give a fuck. You know? Right, that little bit of light there, that little bit of light there, that little bit of light there, is all the information you have to make a decision. And this decision might impact your entire run. I see a little dude there. However, I know the strength of my own build. You need to get comfortable and confident with the state of your own build. And what it can achieve and what it can't do. Like an incapacitate. This dude would try and incapacitate me and freeze me. But I saw a wand here that I wanted to look at. So I figure with the strength of my build, I could take him out easy. Right. And now, this area is still blocked off, so no enemy can come this way. No enemy can come this way, you know? Coward could technically shoot from there, maybe. But this is completely me now. This is all my area. No enemy is going to come from this way unless they teleport in, which is unlikely. So it's all me, you know? I can create as much destruction as I want. I know I'm safe. Every time I move forward, I know I can back up into metal and defend my position very well. And since I have freezing, and freezing is one of those things you'll find quite a lot, and I advise you to utilize a lot. It's one of the strongest things in the game. It's not really to do with positioning, but you see, in the vault, you have the high ground automatically. If you clear the start of the area, generally you'll always have the high ground. There are times and positions where you won't, but that's, yeah, you're just going to have to be good, you know? The vault demands a few things of you. Good. You see, I've lost the high ground, but luckily I've regained it because no one can get up here. No one can come from this direction, so I've regained the high ground. Because if no one can come this way, I can't lose the high ground, even if I gave it up in the first place to come and check up here, you know? So it was a risk, but a calculated risk. Enemies can now come from that direction, downward, and this... I shot something down there. You see what I... Like, you do get swappers, which could end your entire run. So me shooting like this is a little bit... Still got the high ground. It's a good wand. I'm going to take it. Because that previous one, the shuffle wand, is no good. So I've lost the high ground now. But we're in a safe and secluded area. No one can get in here from any other direction apart from above me now. Which is a choke point. You know? If enemies come this way, it's fine. What I would do, since no enemies can come from down here, enemies would filter into here. I'd try and drive them down into this point, maybe shooting them along the way. And then, once they're low enough, you know, use my freezing or whatever talent I had to, you know, juke them, kick this, load of rocks on them, and run away as fast as I can. Even if they're still alive, just run away, depending on how strong they are. But you've got to use quick movement. Killing enemies isn't what you want to do all the time. Like Uko there. Well, considering we're part of the Uko Preservation Society. And he's a fine soldier, Uko is. You know, I have nothing against him. We'll leave him be. Again, killing enemies isn't always the priority. Survival is, you know. you can survive via killing all the enemies in an area, but running away is also a valid option. However, if you're running away, you're going to need to make sure what you're running into is less mean than what you just came into. Or that you can run to the end and survive, you know? Because eventually, if you keep on running, you'll bump into something that's bigger and stronger than you. Or a multitude of enemies who are bigger and stronger than you. And I might wonder how I knew Uko was coming. I didn't. But I thought he might, so... You know, you position yourself well in the first place. And the rest will pay off itself, you know? Well, I had no idea Uko was shooting then, but instinctually, the position was fine, you know? To run into here and defend myself from here with a strong wand. I'm not exactly covered in HP at the moment. But position-wise, we're fine. It's more wand-wise as well. I know I can incapacitate. If I wasn't able to incapacitate, what I would have done... As I saw those HC boys come in, as soon as I knew I couldn't front and kill them all... If Uko was guarding, he can't really shoot me that well, you know? I would just ran back up here into the free area where no one is, you know? Probably not go that way, enemies are that way. But into this free area where, you know, we're fine. And then choke point them. Get them in choke point. Like here. High ground even here, you know? The higher the ground, since they're HC'd, you can't shoot up, right? So, yeah, thanks, Uko. I know you're there, bro. Yeah, melee immunity, if you have it, you're going to have a much better time. I'm stuck. Alright, if you're stuck, sometimes, you know, you're going to need to kill the enemy. I was stuck in some terrain there, and having acid on my face... Right, you don't know the amount of time it takes for you to get out of a pixel that you're stuck in, right? Assume you're not going to be able to get out in time. You know? Just assume it, and you'll be fine. If you've got the power to kill them. And we're at the bottom, you know? Simple high ground stuff. Maybe reveal the map. Yeah, well, if you have to fight Robocops... you know, maybe some rockets would be very nice. Oh shit, that's bad. Luckily, we found one of these. Yeah, avoid these green sentries if you can, because they're brutal. Yeah, they use the same magic you do, essentially. Uko! They're telling me it's time to go. But Robocops, the little Robocops, they're... If you don't have the no more knockback perk, they are ridiculous. They will stun lock you until you're dead. Just stay away from them if you can. High ground. The problem is, if you're peeking over the high ground, they can shoot you quite easily. Make you fall and lose your high ground. That's your biggest problem you're going to have to overcome. Being forced to lose the high ground. They can take a rocket or two, as you saw. He still was able to shoot me after I rocketed the terrain. As many immunities as possible for the last two areas. And we come into the last area. Spontaneous generation. Mournful spirit. Dying creatures leave behind a spirit that deals damage in a small area. Faster ones. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit... You know, it's mainly for... What is it? This wand? No, this wand was good. Right, the actual shots on this wand can hurt me now. It will have so much damage. It's going to be a highly damaging wand. Oh, I can't really go a spread. It will fucking kill me. Yeah, I don't want a rocket on this one, thank you very much. Yeah, I need to be very careful. While I can fire very fast, the modifier on this wand hurts me if I shoot myself. And I have no way to protect against it. So every time I shoot, I need to be damn sure I'm not going to hurt myself. And the shotguns... Luckily, this is accurate shotgun. You can't say that too much. So I need to peek, shoot, get behind cover. So much so that my own shotguns can't get me. Which is a tall ask. We have 235 HP. Now, the vault is an interesting case. Am I gonna... No. Oh, it is. How the fuck did I not get swapped then? If I get swapped, it's likely I'll land on one of my own shotguns. Alright, freezing and... Whew. Again, I've got repulsion. This is why I took it. I've got 2 types of repulsion. My repulsion sector and my repulsion shield. Both are acting to keep my own shotguns away. Quite nicely. Not perfect. It will never be perfect. But good enough. It means I can, as long as I'm using high ground, because the gravity of the situation... the gravity will keep the shots... Oh, that's a poly shot. But the power of my own shots will keep me alive by killing the enemy quicker. So that's what I'm banking on, essentially. That I can, you know... Why can't... Oh, it doesn't have the mana to fire. Cool, cool. Really? So again, as long as I, for the most part, I'm shooting a bit downward, I should never really hurt myself. Because gravity will act on the shotgun pellets. Says the person who's kind of abusing that rule a little bit. The thing is, you get more comfortable with your own shots, though, the more you shoot them. And you know what you can and can't do. This bastard. Yeah, you're just going to have to, you know, live with the maze of this place. This place is an absolute maze. Sometimes you won't need the money. Sometimes you might need the money. I might be able to dig through that. You can. It's a cheeky little hole. Right, some things in this area make it look like you can't dig through it, but you can. Knowing what you can and can't dig through can save your life really well. Like that, then. Like, I had nowhere else to go, really. See, I see my repulsion coming into it. If I wasn't using repulsion... Actually, I am incorrect. The thing about an always cast is it only acts... If you're using a trigger, it only acts on the trigger itself. So unless I get this shot, this trigger shot repelled back to me... Yeah, I was incorrect. My shotguns can't hurt me. However, learning how to play with a bit of fear in your mind regarding your own shots, not a bad thing. You learn positioning better sometimes, you know. So yeah, on an always cast, if you use a trigger, it only applies to the trigger or timer, you know? Get away from me. Yeah, stay away from worms unless you've got a great wand. Although, when it's attacking something like that, generally, I'll be able to finish it off and shoot its head, I think. It might, you know, leave you alone a bit more. I think it's more that, you know... I don't know if it's more vulnerable around its head. I don't know what the fuck it's doing, by the way. But it seems to be attacking something already. That's curse damage. And I'm pretty sure it might be able to bite you. But, gone. Dead. Destroyed. Yeah, this area, watch out, like, really watch out for the wall mountings, because they've become a lot more brutal. Wall mountings are horrible. Make sure you brought something that can destroy sand and wood continually. Be ready to kill large groups of heavy enemies and hey, you'll be alright, you know? And everything will be alright. By this period of time, though, you do have everything in your power to survive, you know? Oh, fuck off. It teleported me at the last minute. Luckily, it only teleported me to a different, you know, little mountain portal, but yeah, this area, melee immunity and explosion immunity. Woof. Repulsion and melee, I'd say, the two strongest things. Fear the darkness. The darkness is what's going to kill you, as with all things in Noita. Yeah, so my shotguns wouldn't hurt me. It's only my spark bolt that could do damage against me. But yeah, shot priority as well. Anything that can turn, like the poly dude. Being teleported in this area. Right, if you do get teleported, point downward. And as soon as you feel you're near the bottom, wash itself off. Because if you happen to teleport down here into this area and then teleport down again, you're in lava, you know? So, yeah, shot priority. Kill things that can shoot you from long range. The crystals, you know those purple crystals? Not the crystals that shoot rockets out. Like the green, red, and purple crystals. The actual enemy purple crystal. Explosives work wonders on them. They're a physical object. So make sure you fucking destroy them. But positioning wise, high ground again. You know, it's always a fucking high ground. If you can take anything away from today, high ground the shit, and you'll be alright. Well, I hope you would, you know. In fact, since we I'm alright with that, to be honest. And ducks. Nah, we're fine with that. Yeah, go for a projectile duplication. This boss fight, again, repulsion. Any type of repulsion works wonders. You can literally stand there, as long as he doesn't get on top of you. Fire immunity. What you might want to do as well, consider if there is any liquid here. Like me freezing this might stop it collapsing. However, me freezing this here will stop the lava pouring out for a little while. It will melt. But me freezing the actual thing in the first place might stop the actual thing falling out in the first place. So you see, most of the actual kind of build, the actual brickwork hasn't fallen out. So it's very unlikely lava's going to pour from there in the first place. However, on this side, because it's fallen in that section, and it's... Well, luckily, you know what I can do. Again, freezing comes in handy so much. So even when it starts pouring, I can block it. Again, always know your relative strength. He's already fucked up, to be honest. Ow. Yeah. If you're fighting this dude and he's got no orbs, just pump damage into him as fast as you possibly can and get it over with. If you have orbs during a boss fight, well, you might want to be a bit more considered, because he will, you know, take everything you have. Hey, you seen that? 666 on the old ones there? Hey, we didn't make no deal. Ah, I can complete it even though I'm off the ground. Nice. Wonderful. I hope you learned something today. If you fancied learning it, if you just like watching a good run, no, it's not bad, was it? But if you have any questions, like I say, we're at twitch.tv/LetsSufferTogether. We're always there for your entertainment and viewing purposes. Also, if you feel like it, leave a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, get a comment down below. I highly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, you know. Take it easy, take care. I'll catch up with you in the next episode of the series, and have a good day. See you soon.